What's up, Hawk fans? I hope all is well. I wanted to briefly talk about, in lieu of a crystal ball going in for on three, going in for Miami with regards to Iosi Epinesa or Yossi Epinesa. I always forget. I have a time period where I have it because somebody in the comment section inevitably tells me what it is emphatically, and I'll have a time frame where I know what it is and I say it, and then I won't say it for a while, and then I forget. But now granted, this crystal ball prediction, this publisher has less than a 70% accuracy. Really, what you're looking for is minimum 80% accuracy, because that is the sign of somebody who really is plugged in with these recruits and really truly getting this, and other insiders who is really getting this under the table information or backdoor information is above 80%. I would really say, honestly, it should be above 90%, but 80 is a minimum. So if Iowa does not land Yossi Epinesa, this, honestly, given how everything else has shaken up, it will not be great, obviously. And this is, especially considering where other guys have landed. Iowa missed out on defensive lineman Christian Hudson. I thought that was a very winnable recruitment. They missed out on Brock Heath, who decided to go to Kansas State, which that one wasn't necessarily a surprise, as he was favorited to go to Kansas State for a long time. He's from the state of Kansas. So, but it was still winnable, though. That's the thing. It was still winnable. And so, and this is really the point that I want to make, is even though some of these are like understandable, and ultimately Yossi may end up deciding to go to Iowa. Okay, he might. But if he doesn't, and even if he doesn't, Iowa could still end up there's a long way to go until signing day. And recruiting is a long game. Okay, it is. And Iowa can still find some under the radar recruits, some gems that emerge in their senior season. And on top of that, the core group of guys that Iowa does have are a pretty nice group of recruits. According to On3, they have Lucas Allgaier, who's rated as a 91, Burt Goucher as a 91, Thomas Meyer as a 90, and Carson Cooney, linebacker, as a 92. So they have four-star guys. Now, with all of that said, though, the bottom line is Iowa won 10 games last year. They made it to a Big Ten championship game. And last year, I believe they won 9 or 10 games as well. Okay, so Iowa has been on an upswing, all right? And Iowa, as much as anybody else in the Big Ten, has put together really, really solid seasons. These are seasons that 9 times out of 10, if a team has, would immediately impact their recruiting in an upward trajectory. Because winning is the number one thing associated with getting recruits. Now, of course, part of it is salesmanship and connection and relationships and all of that good stuff. But winning is the thing that gets recruits to sign with you. And now with NIL, money too. But I think that if Yossi Epinesa does not sign with Iowa, and yes, he might have his own personal things where he wants to, and I told you guys that this was a possibility, and I've seen this with modern recruits, guys from 2020 onward, where they want to carve out their own path, their own role. They don't want to be compared to other guys. They don't want that hype. They don't want that stress, honestly. They want to carve out their own role. That's what we always hear. Now, all of that being said, okay, if Iowa misses out on Yossi, given that they won 10 games last year and have put together multiple really good seasons in a row, to me, this will be proof positive that there is not a ton, Iowa is not able to convert their on-the-field success, their putting players in the NFL success, with excitement from recruits. They're not able to capitalize that. And the reason behind that is a few things. Number one, Kirk Ferentz has been at Iowa for a long time, which is okay. I'm okay with that. That also has its benefits. It does. You know, there are a lot of recruits who want that consistency. They want to feel that a coaching staff and head coach are going to remain there through their commitment. But the main issue is Iowa's offense. And their offense has been so bad that it's even bleeding over to the defense. And not only that, but Phil Parker, I'm just being honest, guys, he can develop anybody. He's a damn good coach, one of the best in the business. He's easily a top 10 defensive coordinator in all of college football. Maybe even top 5 if you take into account the type of talent, high school talent that he's able to bring in. But part of that is his own issue. Phil Parker has never been much of a recruiter. I would say the main guy that Phil Parker helped land was Xavier Wanpa. But outside of that, while it is something, Phil Parker is something that recruits will say, you know, they like him, and obviously he's a damn good coach, but he's not necessarily somebody who encourages excitement on the defensive side of the football. Always. Okay, now Iowa recruited damn well on the defensive side of the ball last year, especially on the defensive line. But you have to admit, guys, given Phil Parker's success, you would expect him to recruit a little bit better consistently with the DB position. And during his time at Iowa, it's kind of been a roller coaster. Some years he gets some highly touted guys, some guys not so much, sometimes some years not so much. Now, I don't think the issue is as much Phil Parker. I think it's the Iowa offense. I think if you look at Iowa and you're a recruit, the excitement towards Iowa just is not there. And a lot of that has to do with the lack of the offense. Iowa just is not an attractive destination. It's not a sexy destination for some of these recruits. I hate to say it, but it's not. Now, in the end, Iowa may end up landing Yossi Epinesa. They might land 4-star wide receiver Terrence Smith over Minnesota. And if they do, I will completely make a video saying, maybe I shouldn't have made this video, maybe I was wrong. But even if they do land those guys, I don't think that it takes away from this fact, which is that currently, unfortunately, there's not a ton of sexiness around this Iowa program, or attractiveness. Maybe sexiness is the wrong word. Attractiveness around this Iowa program. And a lot of it has to do with the offense. Now, you can make the case to me that there's never been a ton of excitement around Iowa football in the last 10 to 15 years because they're kind of a methodical, stable program, and fair enough. So we're going to see how it turns out. This is very much a hypothetical type video, a very much kind of, we'll see if it does end up going a certain way. Maybe it's not as accurate sort of thing. But to me, given the fact that Iowa has been as good as they have been, I do think that they should be recruiting better. and be winning more head-to-head battles. That's my today inclination of things. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I got to get going. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow and facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you, Hawk fans. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.